Hello, my friends, and welcome to our final day of shared reading for the week. We are going to be taking one last look at the great story we read this week, Life at the Pond. And we worked yesterday on identifying the main idea. Of course, in our discussions, we came upon the fact that the main idea, the point that the author wants us to most understand about this story is that in ponds, at pond spaces, there are lots of living things that are there working together and dependent upon each other to survive. Now, today we are going to go back and we are going to look more specifically at some of the details. Now, we know that Miss Murray, since the beginning of the school year, has said, you know what, you can't only look at the words, you also have to look at the pictures. And today we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it in a little bit of a different way. Now, a lot of times the pictures or illustrations and stories give us more information about what's going on in the text, which is always true. It's never going to be like a random picture, right, of a dog on a page that's about robots, right? Like it wouldn't make sense. The pictures align with the words. So we're going to see how we can use those pictures today to help us identify key details about that main topic or main idea, which is, of course, that many different things are living together at ponds. So without further ado, we're going to dive on in. Life at the pond. The pond shines in the sun. The water is quiet. Many things live in the pond. The pond is like a small world. It is home to many plants and fish. It is home to many reptiles and other animals, right? So we're seeing in the text this idea that there's lots of different things there. It's a small world within itself. Around the pond, ducks feed and play. They gobble tiny plants and dive to catch small fish. Mama duck watches her babies learn to swim. What fun! Big and small birds feed by the pond. Some of them snap up flying insects. The big blue heron spears a fish and gobbles it whole. How yummy. So we can see in this illustration, right? We are able to understand how all these different parts are working together. So for example, the blue heron, the bird is kind of standing in the bushes, standing in those leaves, camouflage a little bit, and is eating the fish with its mouth, right? That's came through. So all these different types of living creatures are interacting together. The top of the water is like a thin sheet. Insects skate, hop, and float on it. The water strider skates on long legs. The springtail hops across with its tail. Here we go. Whirligig beetles spin on the water. They have eyes on each side to look up and down. Lily pads with pretty flowers float on top. The roots and stems are under the water, way at the bottom. Frogs begin as tiny eggs in the water. The eggs become wiggly tadpoles, and the tadpoles grow into frogs with legs. They jump in and out of the water looking for food, right? So we can see again with this photograph, we're seeing that the tadpoles, which are going to become the frogs, they are relying not only on the animals and organisms in the water, but those on land to survive, to eat. The bullfrog is one of the biggest frogs. He makes a big splash when he jumps in. He has a very loud croak that sounds like sugarum, sugarum. While, what is that pile of sticks in the water? Beavers have built a house for their family. When a beaver swims, it smacks the water with its tail. Smack! So once again, we can see here, not only are plants providing food, they're also providing shelter for different animals, such as beavers. Turtles in the pond snap up little fish to eat. In winter, the turtles sleep down in the mud. When it gets warm, they sun themselves on a big log in the water. Fish of many sizes and colors swim in the pond. They breathe under the water. Down in the mud, mama fish lays eggs. Later on, papa fish watches the babies. The pond is a small world where birds and fish, bugs and turtles, and many plants all live together. What a fun world, right? And so we can see a picture of the pond. And while it might not look to the eye like there's a lot going on, we can tell from the previous pictures that there is a lot of different organisms living together. So today what you are going to do is you are going to be artists and illustrators yourselves, and you are going to choose some of the key details in this story that support our main idea, and you are going to illustrate them in your seesaw and explain why those details are important. So with that, my scholars, I am going to let you go. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. You certainly have deserved it, and we will be back on Monday with a brand new shared reading. All right, my friends, see ya.